A covert strike, hours away. Then, the skies over Iraq fell silent, and Tehran started to notice. A frantic phone call, a race against the clock. Minutes before the first missile fell, one secret nearly slipped. On June 13, 2025, the United States decided to quit diplomacy and aid its strongest ally in the Middle East in speaking the language of force. As Washington and Tehran held multiple rounds of talks over Iran's nuclear program, Trump's best friend in the Middle East, Benjamin Netanyahu, was not looking for a diplomatic outcome. The Israeli Prime Minister wanted one thing: war. US forces were already in the Middle East, protecting Israel and its other allies from a nuclear threat that few have been able to substantiate. As Israel prepared to throw cold water on the diplomacy brewing between the US and Iran, Washington's forces nearly made an error that might have handed Netanyahu a result he was not expecting from the war he was about to wage. The book, titled 12 Days in June and published by Hillik Sion, combines interviews with senior-most figures in Israel's defense establishment, along with outside experts to provide behind-the-scenes accounts of Operation Rising Lion. One of those comes from retired Brigadier General R, who commanded the control center in the Israeli Air Force's underground command post. During the opening moments of Operation Rising Lion, the routinely stationed US planes in Iraq unexpectedly started landing at their bases, clearing the skies, while Israeli aircraft moved towards their Iranian targets. This unusual activity made the Iranians apprehensive about probable strikes.
The moment our aircraft took off toward Iran, US planes routinely stationed in Iraq unexpectedly landed at their bases, clearing the skies. We could clearly see the Iranians saying to themselves, "If the skies over Iraq have cleared, maybe the Israelis are coming for us tonight."
More than a year after the operation ended, R recounted how the incident began unfolding in a way that could have compromised the element of surprise and derailed the planned opening strike.
The Air Force commander immediately called senior CENTCOM officers and asked them to take off again at once and restore the usual aerial picture. In the spirit of the excellent cooperation we have with them, they said, "Whatever you need, we're with you. What do you need?" The Air Force commander told them, "Do exactly what you did yesterday at this time."
By then, however, Iran had already realized that something was happening and targets began moving.
We instructed the aircraft to hold just minutes before releasing their munitions. The Air Force commander personally went to the intelligence cell, looked at the young officers sitting there and told them, "This is the situation. What do you think?" They calmly replied, "Don't worry, Commander. We have plans for this, and this as well. We'll decide which one to activate depending on the circumstances."
For several long and tense minutes, the pilots in the air were updated on the changes. At the same time, Israeli defense officials detected that the Iranian side was beginning to relax. Fearing that the targets might disperse to different locations, then Air Force Commander Major General Tomer Bar ordered personnel in real time to make a little noise so their suspicions would return. According to R, what happened next was not only that the senior commanders remained in place, but that more officials arrived after being summoned for consultations.
At 2:43 a.m., our first munitions struck their targets. We fired the opening shot with great success, and the entire Air Force took off. Its targets included command and control sites, surface-to-surface missile sites, and air superiority targets. Everything we had defined in advance. From that point, the blitz began, wave after wave after wave, in a highly impressive manner.
As more details emerge, 12 Days in June continues to offer a rare glimpse into one of the most closely guarded military operations in recent history. While officials in Jerusalem continue to focus on the achievements of that war, the Israeli Foreign Ministry is working around the world to explain the significance of Israel's strikes on Iran. The book is expected to be distributed in the coming days to Israeli diplomatic missions and embassies worldwide as a central tool for explaining the result that Israel calls its victory. The ministry is also organizing official launch events for foreign ambassadors and delegations of mayors from around the world who have come to learn from the book how Israel carried out the operation. The men who built the Abraham Accords preferred the dark. One of them just got dragged into the open, or to be precise, hacked into the open. The infamous hacker group Handala announced it had torn through the networks of Samuel Shea, described as the Israeli operative who engineered Benjamin Netanyahu's reported visit to the United Arab Emirates in March and spent years stitching together the US-backed normalization deals between Israel and the Arab world. Shea, the group claims, had a great deal to hide. Apparently, Shea ran a sprawling covert network through an entity called Gulf Technology Systems, with reach across technology, energy, investment, agriculture, and strategic infrastructure, pulling together Israel, the UAE, and other Arab states in arrangements that never made the headlines. The group published what it claims are 265 pages of his communications, financial records, and confidential contacts.
Shea was a key coordinator of behind-the-scenes arrangements between the regime and Persian Gulf states, and a central facilitator of covert economic, political, and security relations between Tel Aviv and Abu Dhabi.
Then the claims take a much darker turn. The group alleged that leaked files show Shea personally introduced the late convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein to Emirati businessman Sultan Ahmed bin Sulaim, drawing Gulf figures into Epstein's orbit. And that Israeli spy agency Mossad used that channel to bring people to heel.
All secret contracts, financial transfers, training of security forces, and even economic and intelligence espionage against the axis of resistance were directly overseen by Shea and his team.
Netanyahu's office has said his visit to the UAE produced a historic breakthrough in bilateral relations. The UAE's foreign ministry denied that the visit ever took place. Handala presents itself as a pro-Palestinian hacktivist collective, but the US Department of Justice and the FBI assess it as a front for Iran's Ministry of Intelligence. It has previously wiped 6 petabytes of data from Dubai's courts, land, and transport authorities, compromised the FBI director's personal email, and paralyzed the medical device firm Stryker across 79 countries. Whether the documents it has published prove what it claims remains to be seen. What is not in doubt is that a man who spent years operating in the margins of Middle East diplomacy is now very publicly the story.